Right, Will Simmons, captain of Cheltenham Cricket Club. Will, how's the close season been? It's been a busy time since the end of last season, preparing for the new summer.
Yeah, very. We never stop really. We start as soon as the last season's finished, looking about so the shortfalls we might have for next year. This year we had a lot of injuries, so we wanted to fill those gaps and make sure we obviously strengthened on top of a very close season last year. So we never finish off the pitch behind the club. The club runs. It's a medium-sized business as well, so it doesn't really stop. But we've done a lot of work, and we've got a lot of new players for this year, either out of luck or good recruitment. And pre-season has been 3 months in the running already, so yeah, we have been busy.
You've not just been on holiday for that.
No.
On the subject of new players, you said there's been you achieved what you set out to do last season, which was to stay the all-important staying in Premier 2.
Yeah.
So can you just talk me through the changes in personnel for the new
Yes,
season?
unfortunately we lost probably our star player last year, Mike Kelly, with a knee injury, not ruled him out for the year. And Ben McCarty-Jones, who's a real stalwart of ours, who also broke his leg playing football, so he's out. So they were two holes to fill. We have got a chap called Stuart Houghton, who's come from the army. He just moved to the area, which is the luck we've had. A lot of people just moving close to us and have looked us up, which does most of the work for us, but that's very good. He's an aggressive guy. He's a big army lad. He coaches there under 25s and a couple of other army teams, so he's got a lot to offer. Keeps wicket as well, so he might keep me out of the gloves for another year. The other big guy that we've got is Elliot Wilson, who's a coach at Worcestershire. Has had a professional career with Warwickshire in the past, and he'll be opening the bowling for us this year. But again, level 4 coach, so adds an awful lot around the club and just incredibly positive guy. In the bowling department, which we seem to have picked up quite a lot of people, Joseph Majembwa, which is one of the cooler names around, from Zimbabwe, but he's a student here, so again just came to the area, wanted to play for us, and has been good in the pre-season so far. So I think he'll wangle a spot in there somewhere. But there's competition, which is obviously healthy for us as a club. Yeah. Tom Cummings, another chap, just moved to the area, but tall, 6'5". He'll be opening the bowling as well. So in the seam department, we've picked up quite a few.
Yep.
Batters, we've got Mike Kelly's younger brother Steve back from uni more often than not this year, who's again very aggressive and hopefully replaces Mike's 750 runs. So we'll be pleased if he gets somewhere near that. That would be good. And Matt Jennings, who people remember, last year's Gloucester City Wingate captain, who just wanted to stay playing Premier cricket in the local area. So we were the obvious choice, but he's a good guy, lots of experience at Premier cricket, and they were in Premier 1 before, and his statistics every year are very consistent, so he'll bat in our middle order and a spin option, and another previous captain, so can offer a lot all round, we hope, and he seems to have fitted in very well. Another chap called Rob Cooper has moved from North Wales, who will be pushing for an opening spot. So yeah, that's half a dozen already, and a lot of people to fit in amongst young guys that have got a year older and a year better. So pretty crowded, give me some headaches. I said things like that last year and we still struggle, so hopefully this year these guys are a bit more mature, perhaps a bit more experienced, and I think that we'll cope better even in the tough situations, because I'm sure it'll be tough again this year.
And county-wise, which pros have you been given, or you had in the pick?
Yeah, we got the first pick in the draft again, which was good for us. So Dan Housego, Liam Norwell, who we know from 2 years ago, who did a really good job, and David Payne, who I'm not sure we'll see too much of, but maybe the first two, if they Dan and Liam, if their seasons don't dramatically pick up, and they may do brilliantly for Gloucestershire and get in, but at the moment it's looking like they might be available on Saturdays for us, which would be good. Only one can play at a time, but batter or bowler hopefully will strengthen one department or the other most weeks, is the hope.
Yeah. And how have the pre-season friendlies gone?
They've gone alright. Rained off last week unfortunately, but the week before we put 340 on Cheltenham Civil Service side, so perhaps not the strongest, but still you've got to score those runs. And Kieran Smith, who will be batting at 3 for us this year, 140, So again, you still got to score them, and that's a terrific score in 50 overs. And we won that quite comfortably. The week before we played Lechlade, we lost to them, and that's interesting because they'll be one of the teams really pushing to get into this league. So it was a competitive match, and yeah, we weren't far off. It was 12th of April, so it's incredibly early, and they're not a bad side. And we're a very new side, so I'm glad we had the 3 games, because no matter how good or experienced these guys are, they're very new to each other. So hopefully those flaws and faults and foibles and everything that need a bit of ironing out have happened over the past few weeks, and by this Saturday everyone knows each other a bit better and what we're all trying to do.
Yeah, so you start off with the home game against Chard on Saturday, starting at 12:30. What were your hopes for the season?
Well, very much not repeating the end of last season, but the aim is to stay in Premier Cricket at the very least. I hope we can build on just scraping through last year, where we finished 8th, and just don't want to get into that situation again. Far too stressful, and we shouldn't be in a scrap like that. So top half, really. If we end up competing and challenging for the top and winning the league, then that'd be fantastic. But realistically, top half would be a good goal, and safely in this league and challenging perhaps next year is a realistic aim.
Yeah, and off the field, there's been some developments going on over the winter, haven't there, at the Victoria Ground? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, new nets, not completed yet. We're on the waiting list for completion, but new 3-lane net, which is a fantastic facility for any club, and ours as well. So the base has gone in for that over winter, managed to avoid the floods and the rain, and that went in well. I look forward to get that finished, because it is a big asset for us as a club, and we'll be able to use it in all sorts of ways, but obviously none the least for ourselves, and particularly the juniors.
Yeah, and second 11, who's running that? Who's captaining that this season?
Our actor friend Tim Dutton is going to do it again, although he's in the West End for most of the first half of the season. But he's got his motley crew together again, and like I said, we've had so many people in at the top of our particular filter for teams that doesn't usually happen. We'll have kicked some of the guys back into the seconds, and in the very best way. There should be some traffic between teams, and some real competition for places. So I hope, having made the first stroke what looks like being stronger, that will help the seconds out as well. So perhaps they will also be challenging for the top of their league this year, which would be a good aim for them.
Yeah, right, that's brilliant. Well, good luck for the season.
Thank you very much.